Mood bad.
And Fire Eagle,
alibi services.
as an example, Fire Eagle didn't actually store a record. Maybe you did, and you just didn't tell anybody. But did not store a record of where anybody was going or where they've been. The only record that existed was where they are. And I think that Foursquare, whereas they do have some of that about where you've been and things like that, the more you keep that, and the more you keep that database solid and accurate, the more exposed you are to the U.S. government.
The problem with that is, too, that now with all these location companies hooking up to Twitter and everything, and Twitter having their own location element to it, everything that you send out is then geotagged within Twitter, so it's like you lose control completely of the information. So even if they come to you with a subpoena to try and get the information, and you guys are deleting it, it's going to be somewhere else. And this was actually an issue that came up.
What you're saying is, if you tweet, just killed someone on a phone which is geo-enabled, the government might come after you. I mean, I don't really, I mean, like,
I want to jump in and kind of close 2 points. One is the topic of credit cards and human error and all that. I think we can acknowledge that, in general, we are already living our lives in semi-public / semi-private manners.
You use Flippy?
No, I don't use Flippy.
I love location that.
So there's a granted level of error going on. And I think, as a second point, is I think people should just take it as a given that the more you choose to live in public, the more vulnerable you make yourself to those who seek to do ill. Whether that's the government, whether that's an individual, whatever that might be, it's out there, and it happens, and it sucks, but it's true. So I don't think we really need to debate privacy much further. I think there's some other topics. But,
It was only going to be 10 minutes. It's like
we should do a survey now. I mean, like, how many of you people are genuinely worried about, when you use Foursquare, about your privacy being leaked, for example? Like, one of you. Okay, so, I mean...
women?
No, I mean, it's really interesting. Like, I can't tell you the amount of times I had conversations in which we said, like, these are the protections we're putting in place, and everyone will go, like, and some people will go, women are going to be terrified by this, and our experience has been not so much, actually. Like, when they actually use it, people can't.
And the women issue is interesting on Foursquare.
I don't think we can solve the women issue.
Well, number one,
all guys.
Number one, you can lie about where you are, right? You're here. You can signal to your friends, "Hey, I'm in the neighborhood," without checking in where you actually physically are. Number two, you don't have to check in at all. And so if you do have a stalker,
there you go.
You can check
don't
in.
check in if you're scared.
Or check in a public way. Or check in after the event. If you just want to get the points for being in a place, check in at the end of dinner. And
don't be friends with everybody who follows you.
Right. If you have a stalker, you're going to have a stalker anyways that's going to follow you around physically and not be looking at. They're usually not that smart, right? I toured San Quentin recently with Guy Kawasaki, and the people I met there weren't all that bright. I didn't know what Foursquare was, right?
Really? People in jail don't know what Foursquare is?
Foursquare users, hands up. Foursquare users, please, hands up. Okay, now you can put your hand down. No, it's not that hard. You can put your hand down if you are 100% sure that all of the people who you follow or follow you on Foursquare are live human beings that you know.
Put it down.
You can only put it down if you can confirm that statement. You know all of your followers.
Up or down, Jeremy?
Down.
Leave your hand up if you think there might be a follower you don't know. I'll rephrase the question. Jordan Deere, thank you. If you believe if you are on Foursquare and believe that you know 100% of the people who follow you, raise your hand now. And if you are on Foursquare and don't know that, hands up. All right, good job.
I don't know anybody.
everyone.
Let's continue. They're all MGs. It's confusing.
As a background of that, my Twitter handle is @MG. And MG over there really hates that. That's all right.
So feel out for a friend.
So that was just a dig at Foursquare with the Fred Q wants to follow you. It's like, thank you, not very helpful. Yeah, a sort of full solution of privacy. Anyway, so something that was in that I want to draw out a bit more was classically geolocation has been here is a point on the Earth, and GIS systems are all about you can make points on the Earth and do stuff about that. Whereas A lot of these systems are much more declarative. It's saying, I'm at this place with a human readable label. I'm at this address, which is like, I'm at the Ritz. Or it's like, I'm in San Francisco. Which is like...
And a lot of us use Foursquare to tell you where we're going to be in half an hour. So it's not even where we are. It's going to be, I'm going to be at the bar down the street in half an hour. I want to meet you down there, so I'm going to tell you that I'm going to be
Robert
down there.
cheats a lot, Foursquare in case it's necessary.
Absolutely.
So, who uses Doppler?
Doppler, okay. So, do the rest of you know what it is? Is it worth explaining? So Doppler is a service that's designed for people who travel long distances a lot. And you say, I'm going to be in San Francisco for 3 days, I'm going to be in Boston for 3 days, and here are the days I'm there. And you then friend people and see who's going to be in the same town at the same time. It's basically for conference gypsies, as far as I can tell. The value of it is that it is prospective. It's saying, I'm going to be there next week. Whereas a lot of these systems have this very narrow time horizon. So I want to sort of poke at that a bit. Is that something that we need?
Plancast is the new Doppler.
Yeah.
No, TripIt's something else. TripIt, I send my United Airlines flight thing to TripIt, so I get information about my flight, what seat